5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds in the mix. In the mix.
I'm on. Oh, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Nina Monique Show. As you all know, I am your host, Miss Nina Monique. And today I have a wonderful guest with me today, Miss Charity Villena, host of Model Haus TV. She is also a model, U.S. Army veteran, and a colon cancer survivor. And we are going to be talking to her about her journey. Everyone know I'm big on journeys. Journeys are very important because people have goals and dreams that they try to reach, but at times they feel they're unreachable because of different challenges and obstacles that may come up during that road of achieving their dreams. So I'm very big on journeys because I think people need to be empowered and inspired to never give up on things they want to do. Your challenges and obstacles only make you stronger and prepare you for the big picture of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So I definitely want to get into that with you. And also about Model Haus TV, I was on a taping Tuesday, the 22nd, and it was such a great experience to talk to individuals who actually get and understand what you're saying, and also encourage you to keep doing whatever it is that you want to do. That is the most wonderful thing, and I just love your show, and I'm always going to support you. Just let me know whatever it is that you need. I'm there. So we're going to start off. I'm going to have you talk a little bit about who's Charity. I want to know about Charity.
Okay, hi. My name is Charity Villena, and as Monique has stated, I am a U.S. Army veteran first. I'm a patriot first. I love my country with everything. It will always be a part of me. And with that said, I'm also, an experienced model, as well as now a TV host for Model Haus TV and everything. So I've been graced with the opportunity to be given a platform by which not only to explore and provide a platform for the fashion industry, to get their name out there, but then also a platform that enables us to empower on a more substantive level, talk about some deep topics that are near and dear to my heart. One of them being, of course, being a cancer survivor and what have you. Abuse, domestic violence. We cover everything on the show because in the fashion industry we are known for being very superficial, but with my show I like to actually go a lot deeper in that and to cover some very deep, profound topics to make a difference and impact on people's lives. So beyond just looking good, right? You've got to have a mind and a heart and a spirit, and have a philanthropic mindset. So, a little bit about me. In addition to, like I said, I'm a cancer survivor, and I don't say that for anybody to feel sorry for me. All it has done is enabled me to realize that life is precious, and to really value the small parts of your life, the little parts of your life, and to reprioritize what is important, family, friends, life, positivity, giving back, and being blessed for every day you're able to wake up. I mean, it is a blessing that God allows us to wake up every day. So what are you going to do with that day, and what seeds are you going to plant to empower or enable somebody to achieve their dreams? So I'm all about paying it forward. That's really my mantra, and I really do care. And then in addition to that, I'm also the agency director for International Model Haus Management, and the platform for that is provide an avenue by which we can mentor and guide models towards paid jobs. So a lot of models out here today are just not getting paid. It's not because they don't have the ability or the look. It's because they really haven't been given the tools necessary in order to achieve success and get the paid job. So that's where I come in through my ability. I know I was trained at John Casablanca School of Modeling and Acting. I've got several years, in my repertoire, on my resume as far as modeling, but I have actually been provided, paid jobs, paid assignments. But it's because I'm polished, right? I know what to bring, and that's because through the training, just like with anything, right? When you're, going for anything, whether it be cybersecurity or whatever, right? You're going to go to school for it.
Right.
So you're going to invest in yourself in order to attain the level of experience and what have you, in order to acquire whatever you're trying to pursue.
And a lot of people don't want to do that, invest in themselves.
Right.
They just want everything to be handed to them, and it don't work that way.
Absolutely.
At all. That's my own experience with anything. My mother always told me, if you want something, you go out and get it. You have to set the foundation for yourself. And when you are a good-hearted person and people see how hungry you are for whatever it is that you're doing, people will help you get ahead. So I definitely agree with everything that you just said. Definitely. I'm sorry, I had to intervene on that part. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
You're good, because like you, I'm a talker, and we hosts tend to talk a lot. So no worries there. So we wouldn't have the job if we weren't natural talkers, right?
Yep.
So yeah, right. So with that said, the other thing though that really is near and dear to my heart is having ambition and having passion. So it's not enough to also just be a model. When models also come to our doorstep and they said, okay, Charity, I would like for you to mentor me to become a model. Okay, so they've got the interest and they've heard and they say, okay, I'm going to do runway, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that or whatever. But if that's not enough, and it's not enough for me to just give you the job. You've got to want it and you've got to pursue it. And I shouldn't have to tell you, like we had recently, we had an audition, and several of the girls were amazing in their own right. They did an outstanding job, but none of them brought a notepad and a pen. And so I was told by a colleague that, well, you should have told them. No, I shouldn't have had to tell them anything. If you really want it, you will make time for it, right?
Right.
Having a notepad, and just like if I was to say, okay, you're going to get paid in 2 weeks, I guarantee you they would have been either on their phone or something. They would have written down,
Right.
pay
Right.
date is such and such a date. So, my thing is, show me that you want it. I shouldn't have to tell you. I shouldn't have to hold your hand. I can show notes. I pulled up notes all the way from back John Casablancas. I took notes every single class. And when I go to a meeting and when I go to whatever, I bring a notepad and a piece of paper.
Yep.
It's just that simple.
Yep.
You've got to really want it. And you can't, my daughter, I have a daughter that's in the millennial. She's 23. So a lot of those millennials just think that the job should be handed to them. They don't want to earn anything
No,
anymore.
you have to go out there and work for it.
The participatory awards and all that. And it's like, no, wait, hold on a minute. When I grew up, it was all about earning it, right? Earning it. You earned it. You either started from the ground up, or if you got a position at the top, you were so graceful and appreciative for it that you will do everything in your power, to do what it takes. I don't care if I have to clean toilets, if I have to do whatever, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and all that to get the job done and to achieve success.
Right.
Nothing's really beneath me, and I'm a very humble person. I've had to take some humble pie. I was laid off a time ago and what have you. My ended up in a homeless shelter for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've had, but I mean, it was in Woodbridge, and then I continued to give back. While I was there, though, I didn't feel sorry for myself or whatever. I actually set up a computer lab there and all that. I continued to mentor women as far as getting their resumes on. I helped. I even babysat kids and stuff like that. But what it showed me, and sometimes you are given the knocks, the hard luck knocks, because it's to show you, like I never thought I was better than anybody else. It's not even like that. But you always kind of look at a homeless person and you're like, okay, that homeless person, they could do something, this, something. You kind of, we do. As society, we look down on homeless people, right?
Right, yep.
But after being homeless myself, then I realized, there were people just like me in there. There were people there was a family of 5 kids where the mom and the dad had lost their jobs. It was back in, 2011? So the economy was really, really bad. Now, I was able to get a job. I knew I would. I have a degree in cybersecurity and this, that thing, and I have my own company, too, and this. So, I knew that I had the skills and ability to do that. But, but every night I would be on the computer. I would submit the resumes and put them out, and then the very next day I'd be at interviews. So, but again, you've got to want it. You can't
Right.
expect it to come to you. Everybody prays and prays and prays and prays and prays. And okay, well, pray for food, pray for this, pray for that. Okay, but here's the deal. You yourself have to go out and take the action in
Right.
order to make it happen.
You have to do the legwork.
Thank you. And, you know, and everything. But when you know that you're on the right path and when you know that things are happening, then that's when things seem to reign in all these blessings seem to reign. Like right now with the modeling and with the TV hosting and whatever, you know, it's raining blessings, and I am at such peace knowing that I am on the right path. This is something that God wants me to do, but not to just be superficial, not to say, okay, you know, go in and you know, get fashion folks on the network and things like that. No, it's also a platform by which to discuss these topics and make people aware and help people understand that, you know, you've got to be substantive and have to be. Like when we were on the show, we discussed women empowerment, which
Right,
I know is
right.
near and dear to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, and a lot of men have this. Some men, I shouldn't say a lot of men, because I never want to bin anybody in a specific group. Some men actually have a negative predisposition about what that entails,
Right.
and it's really not intended to be negative. We women anymore, if you notice, and you walk into a group of women, we'll body check each other.
Yes.
You know, and
yes. I can't stand that. When I see that, I'm like, all right, time for me to go. So I don't even
Right.
spend another second because I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Right.
I
thank
don't.
You.
I'm here for a reason, and it's not to be body checked or have someone, you know, rolling their eyes or something like that. I'm like, I don't have time for it. I don't. So I definitely, yes, we was definitely covering that. When it comes to that, I try to just remove myself from that situation. And this is sad because I feel like at a certain age that should be far gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because you shouldn't be looking at women as competition. You should now be looking as, you know, fellow women as a network, you know, the opportunity to network, the opportunity to have someone support you and encourage you, to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey girl, this is something I'm going through, or hey girl, do you think you would be able to give advice on this situation with me, with my business, or something like that.
Right.
But it shouldn't be, oh my gosh, she thinks she is so cute, like, oh God, but look at her legs, look at her feet, or something
Right.
like that. So it's
Right.
like, you know, as soon as I see that, I try to run the other way. I try. So definitely, again, I understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. No, this is a two-way conversation. So, no. So with that said, you know, the women empowerment struggle, and I say it is a struggle because, you know, I'm all about. I've gotten to the point where, and maybe it's my maturity level as I've gotten older or what have you, but I'm not jealous of other women. I'm not even jealous if somebody comes in the room and they're prettier than me or they're this. And I find it, I like to actually celebrate their success and celebrate this. Because, you know, looks go away eventually anyway.
Right.
We all get older and this other thing. It's hard, especially for us women, right? Less than men, I think, because with men, like, they can get away with looking some kind of way.
They roll out of bed and
Thank you.
throw on a T-shirt. Well, I look
Yes.
cute. I'm going out the door. And it's like, all right, long as you're
Right.
happy. But if we do it, why are you wearing that? That don't look, They have
Right.
something to say. So, like, it is
Thank
harder
you.
for us. Very much
It
harder.
is very much hard for us.
So,
It's like this huge competition, and it really shouldn't be, because I think if we had more of people like us that really want to care and support each other's dreams and aspirations and give each other the support mechanism by which to achieve that success, we'd be a lot further than where we are today. We all seem to be knocking each other, and I don't know if people realize, you know, the crab mentality, the crabs in the bucket mentality, right? Where if you put a group of crabs in a bucket, they all try to drag themselves down,
Yep.
right? And what have you. And that's typically what the
Humans do.
Yes, and it's sad to see that because we could be a lot further. Men too, and we should empower our men, the men in our
Yes.
lives, the men that are fathers of our children.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things. I mean, it's one. Yes, I pride myself in being an independent, self-sustaining woman. But what I have also realized is that does not preclude me from wanting companionship or a man or empowering the father of my children, right, to help with their ego and their this and their that. I mean, it's important. You know, I know some guys don't want to admit to it, but guys do have an ego, and guys do have a self-esteem that needs to be, you know, further, empowered and cultivated and this, that, and the other thing. And when a man feels that he's not, some men will tell you in a relationship, other men will not. And those men that do not, unfortunately, will then seek that from somebody else that is willing to give that to them.
Right.
And
Very
I'm not
true.
blaming the women either for men stepping out of the relationships, because if you're in a relationship, really, you should be loyal.
With that person.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that is one reason why men and women will walk out, because the communication is not there and what have you.
That support.
And it just, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm single right now too. The main reason is because I'm, focused on my goals and everything I'm trying to accomplish, but also because I want to meet someone who's supportive and I could support them in their ambitious and I'm ambitious, and we want to build an empire together so that we can have something to pass down to our children when we have them, and introduce them to something different other than what's normally introduced.
Absolutely.
I envision myself having my own office somewhere in California. That's where I want to relocate to. I love Cali.
Okay.
And I'm getting up in the morning, and I wake up my little one, boy and a girl, and I'm like, come on, you're going to spend the day with mommy. And I bring them to my office, and I show them what I do and try to possibly get them into that entrepreneurship mindset. If they have to depend on corporate, that's fine, but I want them to depend on generating their own revenue and, doing something you love to do instead of doing what you have to do.
Yes.
And the only way you're going to find that, like you said, is if you have to be open to, it's fine to be independent, but you have to open up and allow someone to come in and, help you.
Mentor and guide.
Exactly,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
I think the coolest thing in a relationship is when two people can do something together and, just watch it bloom, blossom. I love
Right,
that.
and when it's not a competition. It's
Yeah.
like some people you get in a relationship and it's like, well, you got this and you shouldn't have gotten this because,
Oh,
this,
God.
it's like, no, wait. It's like, I'm not trying to outdo you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that at all, but why, can you support me for a
Mm-hmm.
minute? It's like, look, I got this opportunity and this other thing. So I think it's important for, it not to be competitive, whereby you're both achieving your dreams, but coming together and
Exactly.
supporting each other.
Exactly.
So what's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with it, but
Me
it's
neither.
too many, or the guy is insecure, or the woman's insecure. And so especially in our industry or whatever, you go out your network, you're in front of people. We're people. We have to be. So I love being a people person. I don't know that I would be able to thrive without being out in the social life. I love it, and what have you. So, sometimes I had my ex-husband, if you will, was very, insecure and what have you. And it led to some things where, whatever. And I don't really want to get into it or bash him or whatever, because he's the father of my son and what have you. And I'm not going to talk bad about the father of my son, especially on national or on radio or TV. But all I'm going to say is the insecurity has led to a severe breakdown in the relationship, whereby, he was so insecure about me talking to people and this and thing. And it's like, look, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
Right? So, it's hard to find men that are actually secure within themselves and know that just because you're out talking to a man or a group of men doesn't mean that you're going to sleep with every single one of them, or even one of them, right? Because that's not the way I go down. That's not the way, that's not me at all. But so you need to find somebody that's secure within themselves. And then likewise, like I've always said, that look, I would never blame a guy. Like if I'm dating a guy, we're in a bar or something like that, and a girl comes up and approaches him, I like that actually, because I'm like, okay, that validates, that, okay, the guy's attractive or something, right? And to me, it's kind of a turn on, if you will, because I'm like, okay, but now it's what he does with that number after that point. So that's the action. But I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to get on him or get upset with him or get jealous because a woman's approached him. He can't control that.
Right.
Come on,
Yep. It's
but
how he handles the situation that lets you know what type of person he is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Exactly. If he shuts her down, if he does this, if he does that, then cool, and all that. If he retains the number and comes back for us, whatever, then that's on him.
Oh yeah, it's a lot to pay attention to now, especially now when you date people. It's hard to find people that's, what's the word I'm looking for? They're conscious of what they're doing. They're respectful. They're not gonna do anything to like mess up or jeopardize the relationship if they're happy.
Yes.
So
and put you down.
exactly.
Everything else.
I've been through all of that, and it's like after that relationship, I was like, never again. And even though it took a long time for me to get over the relationship that I was in, where I was verbally abused. I was angry, I was hurt, and I just didn't want to step out anymore or do anything. And I started focusing on my goals and everything. But the hard part about that is trying to get myself back out there. So that's like my difficult end of, trying to find someone to date, just trying to get back out there, because now my mind is so wrapped around my goals. If he's not talking about goals, if I see he's not supportive, I can't, no, because that can lead to someone being insecure when they see you reaching different levels.
Thank you. Yes.
So
yeah, and we have to engage. We engage folks, and and a little bit of flirting is going to happen because this isn't just a natural thing. Not that you mean to flirt, but being nice is taken as flirtation in many instances, and it's really not intended like that. But that's the way the industry is. You know, what have you, and you just have to be actively engaged and be vibrant, and and go out. So as long as that's another reason why I'm single too, is because, and the other reason why too is, even though I did go through counseling for my past relationship, I did go through all that stuff, because I went through a domestic violence situation myself. It was it was horrible. Oh my God, I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
So
it takes a toll. It breaks you
it
down
does.
mentally and emotionally and spiritually.
Yes.
And when when you're in that situation, you're like saying to yourself, I trusted you, I let you win, I made myself vulnerable, and you're doing this to me. And it's the saddest thing and the most hurtful thing to go through. It really is.
And unfortunately, for those of us that have gone through something like that, now the shield is completely up. And whenever you meet somebody, the minute that there's any type of red flags, even remote red flags, you're like, okay, I don't want to deal with that person. And then you become very defensive, and it's very hard to get over that. So am I damaged goods? No. I think we've all had a lot of, we all have a story to tell.
Right.
Or whatever. We've all been through stuff, whether it be health, whether it be mental, or whatever it is, mental, physical, or spiritual, or all of three. But with that said, I mean, we all have things to overcome.
Yes.
And so when a guy says, well, you've been through an abusive relationship, so basically you're damaged goods, it's like, no. Then I don't want to deal with you then, because I don't want to hear that. And I don't want to hear every
judging.
time. Thank you. And every time you get in an argument or whatever, it's like, oh, well, you're doing that because you were abused. No, I'm not doing that because I'm abused. I'm doing that because I have a voice in the relationship.
Right.
And if you don't see that, then what the heck are we doing?
Exactly.
So.
Yep, exactly. Oh, man. Yes.
Yeah. And then the whole modeling, it took me a little bit too, because cancer, I did model years ago, and then my military obligation took its priority, so that's what I did. And I don't regret that. I would never go back and change. In fact, I do like the way my life went, and it helps to build your character the way you are today. So I don't regret anything. I don't do anything based upon regrets. But back in the day, I did do lingerie modeling, and I did work for Productions Plus, did do the auto shows, what have you, did do the fashion shows in South Korea and all that. So that was a blast, and all that. And then 20 years later, right, so after, like I said, I had colon cancer. And then
was that while you was serving or after?
It was no, it was actually while I was serving. But the thing is that the military obligation takes its toll. So when you're being asked to sign contracts and sign this and sign that, but you're military, so the military is your obligation. You have to show up. Like, that's your priority. So unfortunately, I had to let the modeling piece go because I was being sent on orders every 3 years, and all that. So, but I loved it because I got to travel the world. Like South Korea, Germany. I mean, I got Denmark. I mean. I got to Amsterdam, Holland, Italy, Switzerland, Poland.
How long
London.
were you in each country?
Well, Germany is bordered by 9 countries. So and anybody will tell you that's been stationed in Germany. Germany is a huge melting pot. So in Germany, I was there for 6 years. So it enables you to actually travel to France, the bordering countries of France. You go to Luxembourg, you can go to Belgium, you can go to Italy, you can go to Switzerland and Austria and Italy and all these other things, and it's really cool because it'll say, oh, Paris, like 280 kilometers, right, or something like that. So it's actually pretty awesome. And then Mallorca, Spain, I got to visit an island off the coast of Spain called Mallorca. But there in Germany is a huge melting pot. In fact, they're a lot more forgiving when it comes to, because I have biracial kids. I have my daughter, her dad's African American, and of course Caucasian, me, and then my son is Pacific Islander from Guam in the Philippines. And then of course me. So I have interracial children, and which is awesome. But but what I found is when we were in Germany, everybody was a lot more accepting there. Like I felt safer there.
Yeah.
You didn't see the element of racism and stuff that you see here in the United States.
When we was doing your show, Derek Williams, the photographer, he was talking about how different it is between the U.S. and overseas.
Yes.
How overseas they're a little more accepting of things. They see things different than us. How, is it safe? I mean, the way we're trained to think here through media, through the way we raise our families and everything, it is completely different whenever I hear someone talk about overseas. I've been when I was a baby. My mom and dad, we lived in Germany. My dad was in the army. I don't remember much about it because I was a baby, but even when I spoke to him, he said it's completely different over there with how they see things. They're a little more accepting.
They're liberal on a lot of fronts, and when you're an interracial couple, for instance, they don't frown upon it. They're just okay. Here, you still get the looks, and I just don't get that. It's like, okay, wait a minute, aren't we a melting pot? Like we're a country based upon immigrants. Period.
Exactly.
So we're going to come from all different across the globe. So of course you're going to meet somebody that's either Italian or from Africa or from the Middle East or whatever.
Right.
And you shouldn't be judged for the basis of being able to meet that person.
Yes.
I just don't get that.
But I
get
don't
looks,
either.
When I'm with, I'm with another person of another race, and I get looks, and it's like, why? Why would you do that? I don't understand that. This is America, right? Isn't it? Don't I have the freedom to date whoever I want to date?
Yes.
Right? That's the way
they tell us, but they don't let us live like that.
Right.
That we have that freedom to date who we want.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's a shame. Oh man, I really want to visit overseas now. Like you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do.
Actually, it really is. And
I just got my passport too. Lawrence over there, get your passport. Get your passport. You never know when you're gonna need it. And I'm delaying, and someone asked me to go to Canada, and then I text them. I said, "See what you did? Now I have to go out and get that passport."
Canada's awesome too. Actually, Canada's pretty cool too. So I went up through. When my daughter was about 13 months old, I went up through Niagara Falls and then did the Ottawa-Toronto type of a deal. So it's kind of go parallel above the United States, and then went all the way into Montreal, and then came down. Now Montreal is gorgeous. It's got these beautiful Gothic churches and this beautiful architecture. And that's another thing too is I love being able to go overseas and being able to explore the culture, and not from a 5-star hotel resort. From actually living on the economy, from actually being there. So when you do go to Europe, stay. They've got the bed and breakfast and stuff there, but you can stay at somebody's home for like 20 euros overnight, and it's pretty safe for the most part. I mean, check it out. But
so it's like Airbnb, almost like
kind of like that. But when you drive, let's just say like you're in Germany or like in Stuttgart. I was in Stuttgart and then Mannheim or whatever. But you can go and you can drive through, and you'll see there's like a little bed on the it's almost like a street sign, and that shows you that there's like a bed and breakfast in there. So if they're available, it's like 20 euros. You can stay overnight. They feed you and everything. It's
nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty awesome.
Cool. Thank you. Learning a lot.
Yes.
I want to go back into surviving, where you're a survivor of colon cancer and being in the U.S. Army. How did you fall into being part of like working with the FBI? Because I thought that was cool too.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I got out. I'm a disabled vet, so I got out in 2009, and I did some contracting jobs. I also was a government employee for Department of State and all that. And then with my company, it's called Colkian Technologies. So I'm a cybersecurity person. I'm an engineer by trade, so I have the left side of my brain down. I also have the right side of my brain I've been cultivating as of late, which has been awesome. So it's a pretty good balance, the yin and the yang, if you will. But I'm just as passionate about cybersecurity as I am about modeling and stuff. So, so with that said, so with my company, I was able to get a gig at the FBI doing cybersecurity, cloud cybersecurity, working directly for the CIO. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I worked at, I did Aerojet Rocketdyne, which also they actually build the rocket propulsion systems for the Tomahawks and all the missile defense systems, as well as the as well as the space side of the house. I mean, look them up. There's stuff that there's stuff that I can't talk about, obviously, but there's stuff that's public that you can actually research. It's actually they're pretty well known. They're like in Northrop Grumman or what have you, and pretty phenomenal. So yeah, I got to work for them as well. So
I know that was fun.
Anyway, so yeah.
So what was the order? Okay, so you have the U.S., the Army. You said that's when you was also diagnosed with colon cancer, right?
Well, no, colon cancer I was diagnosed with December, I was diagnosed actually in October or November. November, because it was Veterans Day. I remember that.
Okay.
So I had I had gone to the emergency room. I had for something completely unrelated, and caused me to go to the emergency room. I had really bad cramps.
Oh.
And I went in there and they did a CT scan and realized I had a mass. And the doctor said, "Look, you need to go get a biopsy done and everything." And so he gave me the biopsy, and excuse me, found out that I had cancer. So excuse me, it was malignant. So that I was then scheduled for surgery. But now I didn't have to go through chemo or radiation. Thankfully, we caught it early enough, stage 2A. But I've since had another surgery after that. I ended up with a hysterectomy and all that. They found 2 bilateral tumors. So it's been an ongoing thing. I've been in and out of the hospital. It's been crazy. But with that said, like I said, you just overcome it. I'm like, I don't know if I'm probably gonna say my age now because.
That's what I was going to ask. How did you overcome that? Because I would think especially when it comes to health and a doctor telling you about something like that, that's what you're diagnosed with. Like, how did you wrap your head around that?
Well, initially, like I said, it's a shock. It's a shock and awe approach. And there's this whole culmination of emotions that fire in you. You go through the whole, wow, really? And then you just can't believe it. It's surreal. Then you go through the whole point, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go through this, and everybody tells you. And then there's a point where, like, I was at work one day. I was at the State Department, and I was given a briefing, and I had a couple folks in there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just tears started coming down my face. And I was like, okay, wait, I have to excuse myself for a moment. I was embarrassed. So I was just excused, and they're like, no, what's wrong? And I said, well, I've got colon cancer. And so the guy that was in there, and see, this is why I say certain things happen for a reason, that God puts certain people in place. There was a guy there, he says, oh, well, I'm a colon cancer survivor. Yes. And then he told me, he goes, you know what, colon cancer is one of the ones that has got a high survivability rate. I needed to hear that at that moment in time. Right. Because you do, yes, everybody's all about being strong and stoic, and everybody knows me about that. I put on this stoic mantra, and I'm strong for the most part, but we're all
But you're
vulnerable.
human also.
We're human, yes. And so, yeah, when you get diagnosed with cancer, you go through the ups and downs of these emotions, and that's why it's important to have that support system and prayer and everything else, and, know that you can get through it. Now, the early detection is the key. A lot of us will postpone going to the hospital or what have you, but you need to just get in there. If there is something, don't feel like you're just being a crybaby about it. Go in there and say, look, I don't feel comfortable. Something's wrong. I need you to do a CAT scan, a PET scan. I need you to do something because I do feel that something's wrong, so they can catch it early.
Right.
My youngest sister, I'm the oldest of 4 sisters. My youngest sister, who was Air Force, I'm Army.
Oh.
But she also was diagnosed with cancer. By the time she found it, it was stage 4 cancer. But she came out of it, too. So what I'm saying is that you've got to have that fight, that, and all that, you got to want it. You got to want to live, but you also have to have that support system because no matter what, you will go through that whole, I'm talking every spectrum of emotion in the book. Sad, shocked, and then you're happy. I write poetry also. So I have a book being published through Dorrance Publishing. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
yes, I saw that on here.
Thank you. Yeah, so but that poetry was written, it came out of, I hadn't written anything in years, but when you're starting to recover and stuff like that, I had all these words in my head, and I'd written a poem to my children. That's not in that book. And I didn't share that with my kids, but it was basically saying goodbye, but that I would be watching over them from heaven and what have you. And, yeah, so I didn't share that with them or what have you, but my thing is, I didn't want to, but I'm holding on to it or whatever, but but there's certain things that just come out of you. It's very therapeutic to write down what your feelings are, whether it's be a journal or poetry or a book or whatever. And then in addition to that, I started doing abstract art. I don't profess to be an artist by any way, shape, or form. I couldn't draw to save my life, but just getting some oils, some different types of paints, and just putting up a canvas and
just letting your mind go.
Letting your mind go. And it's a very therapeutic thing. And I really engage and employ anybody out there that's going through something. Get it out. You need to get it out, because if you keep those emotions in you, God only knows what would happen. Kids, they get it out by texting or whatever. The problem is you can't take that back, because text they are in cyberspace forever.
Yep.
And for those of us that are cybersecurity people or even IT people, we know that in the cloud, you might think you've deleted something.
But no, not in cyber world.
It's replicated.
Nothing is deleted.
And it's stayed out there forever, so somebody can always pull it up and rehash it. So, be careful what you do, what you post. Same thing with the models out there when you're trying to, culminate a career and you want people to take you seriously. Don't be doing selfies, duck faces with your cleavage and your booty hanging out. I mean, come on. That's why a lot of girls that are actually very pretty, curvy, skinny, it doesn't matter. And what they'll do is, brands look at that. When they're looking to use you as a brand ambassador or whatever, they're looking at the types of stuff that you're posting on social media. Do they want to be associated with that?
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to be an urban model, urban in fashion is, the ones that are, I wouldn't say like Hustler magazine, but, very sexy oriented. Okay, that's appropriate. I mean, that's for that genre. So yeah, if you're going to do that and that's what you're pitching and that's the type of modeling that you want to do, okay, then do it. But if you want to be taken seriously by somebody like Lane Bryant or Nike or Calvin Klein or
you
me,
have to be careful
to
what you put out there.
Don't be putting that stuff on your social media.
Yeah.
And then you attract the wrong attention. A lot of us too with the domestic violence thing, right? It's like we were put down so much in the relationship that it really obliterates your self-esteem. So even for me, for modeling, I'm like, okay, I didn't even feel, for a while I didn't feel pretty, I didn't feel this, I didn't feel that. I just felt my self-esteem was basically gone.
Mine too. Yeah.
But unfortunately, you either use it constructively or you go out like some of these girls just because they get the likes, right? It helps them to kind of, they think they're rebuilding their self-esteem, but it's getting the wrong attention.
Yeah. And then when your stuff start getting shared, and it's like, you may think it's cool for a minute, but like you said, you never know when it's going to pop up again when you want to be taken seriously.
Yes.
It's that, oh gosh, yeah. It's just like with everything. I think it was the last show that I'd had, we was talking about the power of social media, the good and the bad of it. And that was one of the things I believe we have brought up. You have to be careful what you put out there. It's very important because it will come back. I know for me, when I first started with social media, I was posting whatever I wanted. And then, it came a point where I was like, you know what? Let me fall back. That comes with maturity, because you never know, like you said, what you're going to be getting into. So you have to fall back. Thankfully, I caught myself because it's you, like you said, you want to be taken seriously. So you have to watch what you put out there.
Right. Well, and then my daughter. So I've also been mentoring and trying to guide my daughter. And of course, once they get to adulthood, some of them accept what you say, some of them don't. Yeah. But all you can do is give them information and then hope that they do the right thing with the information. But she had posted a video of her online. It was when she started going to hookah bars. Okay, and hookah it's basically tobacco in a different form, and you smoke it. So, but the thing is that the hookah, they look like marijuana bombs, right? So she texts me one night. And it was after she was 21 and whatever. She's like, "Hey mom, I'm having fun," and then she posts something. She sends me this video of her, and she's like doing this the hookah thing and all that, and coming out of her nose, and I'm like, "Okay, Desi, that honestly looks like a crack pipe." And I said,
when I look at those, that's what I think of when I see it. That's like, I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, but that's what I think of when I see them.
Thank you. And so that's why I told her, I said, now you're going to have to explain that, because she's trying to get her pharmacy degree. She's trying to become a pharmacist. And, so I told her, you're going to go through a public trust background investigation, and that will pop up, whether you think it's deleted or not. You're going to have to explain that. So I know it's hookah. But
what do everyone else think?
Exactly. And unfortunately, even though a lot of in the fashion industry is very liberal, but you still have those conservative type industries like the government, like FBI is very conservative,
Yes.
right? And then you have.
Are you
other
even allowed to
aspects.
have social media worker with the FBI?
Not really, no.
Mhm.
No, you're not. And everything. So, and you have to be very careful about what you put out there because you can become a target and this, that, and the other thing.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, just like with anything, with the clearance, with this, with that, you have to be very careful. So I'm also very careful about what I say and what I do.
Mhm.
So I will say yes, I worked at the FBI. I'm very happy. I'm very, to me, that was the pinnacle of my cybersecurity career to be able to work for such a prominent client. So, but now I've kind of segued into, completely into the TV and the fashion industry and the same thing. So I'm very, very excited about what this next chapter of my life holds. And
that's the fun part about branching off and doing different things. Like you enter fields that you never thought you would enter.
Yes.
But media for me was always something I wanted to do since I was a little girl. How did you get discovered for Model House TV?
Well, so social media. That's right, to be good for social media. So I had a producer from the Underground Entertainment, Kare, and so I was actually living down in Virginia, and last year he was saying, I love your look, I love this, I love that, I love, what you stand for, and he had been watching my Facebook profile and my Instagram. And again, ladies, is what you post. It's what you post. So I didn't have anything bad on there because he's on the conservative side, right? He's in the older generation too, very conservative. And I'm not saying be like me, be you, but just watch what you post.
Right.
But you said, yeah, I like what you stand for. I like this, I like that, and this, that, and the other thing. Would you like to host a show? And at first he pitched a couple of them. There was a couple shows. And then, but he said, you got to get out to New York. So I was able to get out to New York thanks to a colleague of ours, Sean Montgomery, who has Hot 914 and is also out of In the Mix Radio, which is awesome, and 913 The Plug, so I'm going to give him a plug. But yeah, so he's enabled, so I'm an agency director for the modeling agency that we have together, and all that. But so through him, I was able to get to New York. Thank you, Sean. And and then I reached back out to the producer. And basically did the interview, looked at another show that he was taping, and said, hey, you'd be perfect, but coming up with a name. So came up with Model House TV. So Sean and I were kind of talking about different ideas or whatever, and Model House, Haus, it's part of my German roots too, right? Because I'm Scandinavian, German, and all that. Yeah. And and it sounds cooler, Model House TV. But from the standpoint of not just for fashion, not just for, photographers, hosts, radio, TV, everything. Everything's on there. So it's an entertainment platform, but with substance.
Yes.
Okay.
That's very important. Yes. Everybody listen. I was on the show. I loved it.
Thank you.
It. I love being able to talk about things that are important, and just hearing everyone's feedback. Like, it was just so comfortable. I was comfortable. Good. And I loved every minute of it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish talking about Model House. I had to put that out there.
No, thank you. I had to have Nina Monique on my show as well because she also is a woman of substance. Very educated woman in media.
Thank you.
And also wanted to provide another platform by which to get her message out there. She's also going to be designing clothes and a whole variety of different things. You'll see that on the show. This woman is a well-rounded person, amazing woman. Thank you. Beautiful in her own right, and just has this beautiful spirit that emanates from you.
Oh, thank you.
And those are the type of people that I want to have on my show. Is people that emit positivity and all that. And and again, it's all about empowering each other and supporting each other and everything, and hoping she gets some additional sponsors out of that too for her show also.
Thank you.
Because this is an amazing platform too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've always, I've come down here too to support, a colleague of ours, and I had overheard and was always impressed with the topics that you always have
Thank you.
And I'm like, wow, this woman is amazing. I've got to have her on my show, you know. So
Thank you.
very honored to have you on my show, and very honored to actually be here on yours.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Absolutely.
I love this conversation. I love it. I love talking to people that's down to earth, open, fun, and just have that bright personality. I love it. So this is very
Likewise.
much fun for me. So I appreciate this. Thank you. It made my Saturday because I woke up feeling a little groggy today, and I was very hot. And when I got here, I was feeling nauseous again. So I had to go around the corner and get something to eat. And then when you walked in the door, I was like, there goes sunshine. So let's start the show. So I was
Thank you.
like, that made my day. So thank you for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. So don't forget to continue to watch Nina Monique on the Nina Monique show.
Thank
and
you.
then also the Model House
Model
TV
House.
show.
Yes.
Right, and it actually airs on, the episode that Nina Monique is on airs May 31st on BronxNet channels 34 and 68 for those that are in the Bronx. And then for those that are outside of the Bronx, you can watch it globally, just as long as you have a computer, on bronxnet.org. You scroll down and look for BX Life, L-I-F-E. It will play at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on May 31st. So, yeah.
I'm going to be nervous to watch that. I'm going to be like, oh, my God, I'm going to see myself.
She did an amazing job. We had a blast that day. I love it. And, it's two powerhouses of passionate people that just love what we do.
Yes.
You know, and just made it all the better. So, yeah.
Definitely. Which one out of TV and modeling, which one out of those do you like the most and why?
Well, now TV because modeling is outstanding, don't get me wrong, but modeling really was a platform with me to get my name out there or whatever. But there's only so much you can do. Unless you do commercials or something like that, you really don't get to speak. I'm a speaker and I've got something to say, and so for me, TV gives me that ability to not only get my name out there but also help others and have a platform by which to help. And I'm all about, so I always ask guests on the show too about community. What are you doing for your community?
Yeah.
That's very important. It's not enough to do me. What are you doing to give back?
Right.
And I don't care what philanthropic endeavor you choose, but give back, pay it forward, right? That's important for me. So those are the types of people that I want to have on my show. People of substance and passion and love and caring, right? And compassion.
Yes.
Compassion is huge for me.
Yes.
So
it makes me cry when I see people do certain things, giving back to the community, because, like you just said, those are people who stepped out of the me mode and said, I'm going to give to you mode. And I love seeing people do that. There was a video that Sean posted on his Facebook page. I don't want to say exactly what it is yet, but the video that he posted, I reached out and asked if that person could come on my show, and they said yes. And I honestly cannot wait to have them on, because what this individual do for others, especially young people, it's remarkable. So I was like, yeah, you're going to come on the show. So, like you said, stepping out of that me mode and stepping into I'm giving back to you, I love that about people.
Yes.
I love that about people.
Well, it helps to keep people grounded, because people also in the industry, and this is what I'm going to, with our models, whatever that we help cultivate and mentor, because a lot of them are like divas and this, that thing, but me, what am I getting out of it? Well, what are you giving back, though? What are you giving to others? And it could be as small as, going to an elderly home and helping and just sitting with the person. And because, a lot of times they're given up on, and their family doesn't visit them, and all they want is companionship.
Yeah.
Somebody to sit and talk to for a change, right? That's all they want in many aspects. So just something as small as that, or whatever it is, so you can pick whatever you want. Just do something that you're passionate about and that helps you to stay grounded.
Right.
So,
I agree. What do you do? Because I know you have, where is it? Lover of Life?
Yes. Lover of Life, and that stems from a variety of things. Not only what I've learned, lessons learned in life, but then also having had cancer. Now I'm a cancer survivor, yay. But I encounter, and every single thing that I pursue it with everything I've got. I was always like that anyway. I was an A+ student anyway, but it gave me the ability to really, because when I would go to work, I was a workaholic, but workaholic for the wrong reasons. I was working for others, right? The 9 to 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And really, to be honest with you, one of my HR people said, which also had cancer, by the way.
Oh.
Bless her heart, I love her. She's here, she's living, and she had breast cancer and then lung cancer. I'm not going to put her name out there because I don't want to. I don't know if she's okay with that. So out of respect for her, I'm not. But she had told me when I went through my colon cancer surgery, and then I was so concerned about being back in the thralls of it, making sure I had my laptop and so I can telework from home. And she's like, you know what, Charity? She says, people at work honestly aren't going to care. She said, don't worry about it. You get healthy. You do you.
Right. Yep.
And spend that time with your family, your kids, your immediate friends and family. Because and when it all comes down to it, she goes, I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be sad to hear. But she said, what I'm told from the HR's perspective is if a person passes by midnight that night, they have to make a check or whatever in the computer in the database saying that now your job is available to put out on the street, basically.
Yeah.
And all that. And really, yes, they would mourn you for a millisecond, but then life goes on. The mission continues. So don't, and so my thing is, why am I working for others? Why am I commuting? I was working in D.C., living in Virginia, commuting like 2 hours one way, each way, back and forth. I only live 25 miles from D.C., but you wouldn't know it because 2 hours this way, 2 hours back, and then I'm giving. And so not to say I'm unappreciative for the opportunity I had at the FBI. I'm not. I really appreciate that opportunity. However, now that I'm doing something that I love, that I'm really passionate about, modeling and of course the TV host, my gosh, that just fuels me. I have so much energy.
Yes, give me 5.
Yes, thank you. So that is where I want to take it. Modeling, cool. I do modeling just when I need to. Like if I want to, I pick and choose now because, I am older. I wouldn't call myself retired so much as I want to help others now achieve their dreams in modeling. But where I really want to go and pursue is the TV hosting. I want to take this thing on a national platform, global platform, get rocking and rolling, and be successful, and it continue to have folks like Nina in my life, all the way up, because it's all about helping each other. Modelocity magazine, by the way. So I was able to get I'm a contributing writer. Belinda Trotter-James was also on my show, my first show.
Oh.
Yeah. Amazing, right? This woman is brilliant. She was the former editor-in-chief of Word Up magazine.
Yes. I used to love that magazine when I was little.
Right? Yeah, me too. And everything. And so she's now got a Modelocity magazine. You can get it on magcloud.com. I'm giving her a shout-out. I'm also now contributing writer to her magazine for interview information about Model House TV. So again, folks, you can reach out, watch Model House TV, but then you also get a synopsis of the interview in every Modelocity magazine edition and what have you. So it's been great. It's been, like I said, blessings are pouring, and folks like Belinda, folks like Nina, folks like Sean Montgomery. I mean, there's a lot of people that, if you let them and if you choose the right people, there's a lot of negative in this industry too.
Yes.
So it's kind of like maneuvering through the chaos.
Gotta be careful who you interact with and who you affiliate with.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
And we ran into somebody the other day that was kind of, I don't know, shady and what have you. And I'm not going to talk bad about this person because that's not who I am. But all I wanted to say is, you kind of really have to watch it and do your research in who you're, because. You don't want to associate with the wrong folks, and then you can be blacklisted in the industry as well, just by association. And it's like, I didn't even know who this person was, and what have you. So, but now we do, and so I just say, play with caution.
That's what I was speaking to a young lady where we was discussing business and everything, and she was saying how be careful who you post pictures with. She was like, it's exciting when you meet in different kind of people and everything, but be careful when you post pictures because everybody don't need to know who you're affiliated with because you don't know who you're dealing with when they go home, and then if something hits, someone to say, wasn't you friends with such and such, and you got to be careful. You have to be careful. That's why I lay low now on social media. I try to as much as possible. I just prefer to continue to move in silence on my end. Well, anymore when I post is promotion for the show and what have you, and I'll give a shout out to you, and
give a shout out to other guests that have been on the show, and all that, and can continue to support throughout, and everything. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it just takes that selfie. And then what I noticed too is this person, I'm not going to say the person's name, but this person proclaimed to know all these named people. But then when you look at, like, Facebook has the ability to look at mutual friends.
Yeah.
Right? But they weren't even a friend with even mutual friends with the friend they profess to know. And I'm like, okay, I don't know everybody personally on my Facebook, right? But what I'm saying is that just an association, you should at least minimally, if you are personally involved, she says, oh yeah, I know this person's number, and then she'll say, oh no, but can you give me this number? No, I'm not going to give you the number. You can go inbox that person.
Exactly.
You know, and and then you realize the reason why they're asking you for the number is because
they don't know the person.
They don't know the person. Exactly.
Yep. And then you don't want them dropping names. Well, such and such gave me your number, and
Yeah, so, and I would never give anybody's number, and that's not who I am. Everything remains private and what have you with me, and everything. So, but going forward, like I said, we've got some amazing guests coming up on the show. Some are going to be in studio, and others are going to be on location.
Oh, cool. So you're going to be, like, on site of, like, for events and everything.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, so the CMG, like New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week or what have you, I was asked to walk in it, but I was given the opportunity to either interview or model, and I'm like, I want to interview. I love to interview. So that's where I'm leaning more towards, is that's big time my passion now. And sometimes you don't realize where that passion lies until you've been given the exposure.
Yeah.
And then it comes out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like going back, like as parents, I've got two kids. I've got a 23-year-old daughter, and I have a soon to be 14-year-old son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's important to give them the exposure in different aspects so they can figure out what their passion in life is supposed to be, right?
Yeah. The opportunity to give them something different than what we've been exposed to, which is, you know, just working for other people, like showing that entrepreneurship side.
Right. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, it's just been a tremendous blessing. And
do they like it?
The TV show?
Like, you know, what, like everything that you're doing now, are they into it also, or?
Well, they're very supportive, and everything else. My daughter loves it, and she's a model in her own right. She's a beautiful girl. I wish I had pictures on me right now. Beautiful, stunning young lady, and everything. So, she's smart. She's, you know, and I've told her too that, you know, don't just rely on modeling for the income. Also go and also pursue and finish your degree. Right. So she's going to get that PharmD, you know, that PhD in pharmacy, and become a pharmacist, which is good because then she'll have that income she can rely on. Because, you know, looks come and go, right? And we all get older. I mean, you know, I'm getting older too and what have you, but I want to give back. I'm all about it. At a certain age. I was asked the other day from a colleague, at what point do you turn modeling into a pay it forward thing where when you get a certain age, you're now mentoring. So there's two things. So early on in my life, I was a model, and then at cancer, I'm like, okay, what haven't I done? Right, and whatever. What haven't I've been pursuing because I let military take that priority, because I let other things take that priority. And then so I got back into modeling later on in my life. So that's been happening for a lot of women, is now that they're a lot more forgiving when it comes to plus size body positivity, which is awesome. I love. But so a lot of ladies are starting off later in life, so they're new and not experienced, so they're not able to mentor because they themselves need to be mentored. Right. But now that I've been given a TV hosting opportunity, oh my God, I love it. And I'm thinking to myself, this is really what I want. I love it. I love it even more. I love modeling, don't get me wrong. I love cybersecurity too. But I really love being a TV host. Yeah. And I know the sky's the limit on that one, and I am definitely going to rock with it. I just cannot wait. I see going prime time like really soon. So You will. You putting it out there, so it's going to happen. Oh, man. It's going to happen. The universe listens, right? So yes. The universe listens to positive and negative. So put the positive out there. Oh, yeah. I definitely agree with that. With radio, I had to take my journey, and to be, you know, sitting here with a microphone in front of me, and to have it called the Nina Monique Show, where I could have the guest on that I want, where, like you said before, you want certain guests on because of what you're trying to accomplish. So I love just sitting here talking on a microphone. I just love it because, like I always say, and I think I said it on your show, I'm not sure, but, you know, in corporate,
you have to follow someone else's rules, and I'm silenced. And when I be sitting at my desk, I'm like, oh my God, I want to say this, I want to say that. And just doing this, I could be free. I feel free.
Right.
So
Yes.
I love this. I truly, truly love it. And I love everything that come along with it, from, working, from having the microphone to meeting people like you and networking. And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And I want to tell anyone who have those dreams, go after them. Go after them. It may seem difficult to get to, but you'll never know unless you try.
Right.
You will not know unless you try. And I always say too, whatever it is that you want to do, if you're gonna share your goals, make sure it's with people who have their mind set on achieving goals also. Because if you just tell it to random people, they're gonna tell you that can't happen.
Right.
Why would you want to do something like that? It's best if you stick to what you're doing now, because it's promised. It's a steady paycheck.
Right.
So
Yes.
so
Yeah.
you have to talk to people who want to accomplish things like you. Like, I talk to my friend Lawrence all the time. Like, whenever I tell him about a show, or I text him, can you take pictures for whatever show? And then we'll just start talking about other random stuff. And he'll always encourage me. You could do it. If that's what you want, do it.
Yep.
He's still encouraging me to travel, and I'm like, I'm give me time on that one. It's gonna happen.
Yes, absolutely.
It's gonna happen. But I also watched how far he went with his business, being a photographer. When I first met him, he was, getting everything off the ground, and now he goes just about all over the world. When I talk to him, I text him, and then I don't hear from him for like a day, and then he'll come back. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in Jamaica. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in this other place.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to get to your level, and it makes me happy. And those are the kind of people you want in your corner.
Absolutely.
And people like you who want to see other people thrive, and you want to see them get ahead. You can't be around people that don't want to see other people get ahead. You
Right.
just can't. You really can't.
There are way too many haters out there, and I've
Yeah.
had that too. I've had moments where I've wanted to give up. I have, because somebody will then darken my day by
Yep,
comment, and
yep.
you try so hard for it not to get to you, right? You try, but unfortunately it does. It affects you. We are emotional beings and what have you. So, but then you talk to people like you, or people like Sean, or people like other people that are in your corner.
Sean is another good one too.
He's an excellent one.
He's
yes.
he's like, go do it, go do
Yes.
it.
It's like, don't listen to them.
Yeah,
Don't listen to them.
exactly.
He's like, I've had my whole slew of haters too. I'm still here.
Yep.
I'm still doing it. This other thing. So you do it too, right?
Yep,
So yes, it's important to have those types of people in your life, because you are going to get those haters.
Yes.
And surprisingly, some of them are people that you thought were in your corner.
Right,
9 to 5.
right.
But they're jealous. They don't want to see you
Yes,
succeed.
preach,
right?
preach.
So it's like, oh, well, you can't do that. Well, you're a little bit older. You're not gonna be able to do that. You're not, whatever. What are you doing this now in your life? You know what I mean? You should be looking at retirement.
Exactly.
Same thing. Okay, yeah, but you know what I want to do with my life? I want to be a TV host. I'm gonna get my name out there. I want to get a brand out there. But I also want to represent and help other people. But then I also want to have a perfume line soon, right?
Oh.
Yeah, my own perfume. People are talking clothes, and I want perfume.
Yeah.
I want my own perfume. And I'm all about scents and beauty and this kind of thing. Everybody's got makeup and this kind of thing. Owen Michael O'Donnell, who did my makeup, by the way, last December when I won Miss Curves Maryland 2017.
I saw that too in here. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, he, which was a surprise to me, because, again, that was when I was still going through my self-esteem. I was out there modeling, but I still had doubts, right, and stuff. So when I won that, and it wasn't just because there were other girls too that were prettier and this kind of thing, right? So it wasn't that I was the prettiest on the panel, but I had, what they said was I had the charisma. I was actually working hard and steady for the, for the charity, the foundation. It's to give, food and clothing to the children of Peru, right? And everything from Maritza Guevara Sanchez, who's an amazingly gifted designer in her own right. She's Peruvian, comes from Florida, but she comes and travels and she makes clothes or what have you. But the proceeds she gets from those fashion shows, she gives back to the children of Peru. And so that's what I was doing, was helping promote. I was on Telemundo. I was on Capichinga Radio, which is down there local to Baltimore and what have you. So, I was doing a lot of different things on my own time, trying to help promote not only the fashion show, that was there, but then also to get to make sure the children had an excellent Christmas,
Right.
you know, with clothes and that stuff. So, but that's why I got it, because I was pursuing the charity more so than anything and all that, and looking beyond myself. I'm like, yeah, I was there for the fashion show, but I was also there to promote the charity. That
Right.
to me was important. So every time my friend Monica Jewell, she's a Telemundo TV correspondent, phenomenal, but she would say, oh, the models, the modelos, you know, muy bonita, modelos, and I'm like, yes, but you know, we have you know, it's for the charity, so give back, you know,
Right.
what have you. We need support and what have you. So yeah, so I'm all about the charity, and that's why I always look beyond myself. I'm not a selfish person.
Right.
In the industry, you have to be somewhat selfish, because you know, you got to get yourself out there and pursue your dreams,
Right.
and not be afraid to do it. And
Right.
when people tell you no, just keep doing it anyway, right?
You have to.
Continue on that path,
You
especially
have
if you
to.
feel like it's your path. Continue to do it and do
You
it.
have to,
You know,
yep.
just knock it out.
Because
With
there
great
will
risk
always
comes great
be
reward.
those opportunities. One shut you down, but there'll be 100 more waiting for you. So
absolutely.
you have to stay persistent. And I think that's, you know, what people, like we said earlier in the show, is just not going to be handed to you. You have to go and you have to do the legwork, which with the legwork come disappointments. But you take those disappointments and you let that be, I guess, a lesson or something along that line, and you just keep pressing on.
Yeah.
Just don't sit back and say, well, it didn't happen, I'm done. No, don't do that. I did that, and I regret doing that with my magazine that I wanted before all of this, to help kids in the inner city, and meeting the wrong people who I thought would support, they actually, you know, tore me down about it. And I went home and closed my laptop and said, I'm not doing it anymore. And instead I went into corporate America, which I really didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm back here, and regardless of what goes on, you know, I still stick to it because I love it. I love it. So it's true. You just can't give up. Don't give up. Right, Lawrence?
Right.
Don't give up. You can't. You just can't give up. You mentioned something that's very important. You mentioned when you was modeling, you still was going through your issue of self-esteem. How were you able to get back to being yourself? Because I know in this industry, it can break you down. How did you stay afloat, like, you know, to continue to build your character and your self-esteem?
I had a support system. So when I got back into modeling, I was then a size 12. I was a plus size, what they consider in the industry a plus size model, and everything. So with that said, you know, I'm no longer in my 20s. I'm no longer this, no longer a size 4, a size 6, or whatever. I am now. I'm a size 6 now, but some of that is due to you know, health reasons, not even my choice. But anyway, so you know, you kind of, and after having gone through an abusive relationship, you know, your self-esteem is so battered and tarnished. And now at work, I was stoic, because cybersecurity, I know that is something, and I was able to emit, you know, and able to cover up. In modeling, I just had to get myself out there. It's kind of like, you know, when you're hiking or something, and there's a cliff or a small opening between a rock to rock, and sometimes you just have to close your eyes and jump. You just have to do it and know that you're going to make it. And if you fall, you fall, but at least you tried.
Right.
So that's what I did. Is I just said, you know what, you know, what's it going to hurt, right? So I'm going to get out there. I may have some no's. I may have this. I may have that. But in the scheme of things, I don't want this to be something I look back on. Right, this is something I definitely felt very passionate about. My boyfriend at the time was pushing me. My children, my daughter at the time was pushing me. She's like, "Mom, you really should," you know. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay," because I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, you know, I'm in my 40s now." I'm like, "Okay, you know, I'm like, really, should I really be doing this in my 40s?" Right, and that was another. That was a lot of the hate too. Was I was getting okay. You know, now the age is starting to show. It is now starting to show, and that's okay. That happens. And that's why I'm telling with ladies. It's like the modeling industry is a now industry. You can't wait to say, oh, I'm going to do it 2 years from now. No, you got to do it now, because as you get older, age will start showing, or what have you. And it's fine. We know, age gracefully, ladies, and don't look back. I have a thing on my Instagram. If you look, I had taken a picture of my side view, and I'm just like, look, I had turned, I don't know, 42, I think, that day, or 41. And I'm just like, look, this is me right now. This is me in the raw, like, you know, but I'm cool, right? Age gracefully, ladies, and do not look back. Be proud of where you become. Be proud of all those battle scars from giving birth, from
Right.
having cancer surgery, from having all that. And just look forward. I mean, be blessed. You have another day. like,
Yeah.
you know, and all that. But reevaluate. What are you doing? Are you planting seeds?
Mm-hmm.
Or and what are you doing productive? You know, are you just going and autopilot and going to work and coming home and then that's all? Because what are you doing really with your
Right.
life that it's for you?
Right.
You know, a lot of us women, we either are domesticated, we're at home, we're dealing with our husbands and the kids. We don't do anything for us.
Right.
So you kind of lose yourself, if you will, you know, and everything. And so it's like, do something for you that makes you happy, that keeps you passionate,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and all that.
What do you
So-
do for you to, take care of yourself? Because besides modeling, being a TV host, like you said, you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to make yourself feel good away from your duties?
Well, I was working out. I had this guy, Sean Cruz. Love you, Sean Cruz. He's amazing. He was my personal trainer down there in Virginia. So for folks, I can't use him anymore because he's down there in Virginia. But I love the guy. And he got me to doing 1 to 2 hour. We were working out, I mean, I got up to like 6 days a week. I was doing Roman deadlifts. I was doing the, and all that, and my body was looking great, and all that stuff. So I'm starting to lose the weight and be healthy and this and I'm all about health too. I'm all about health because about extending the life for my kids and being here a lot longer, and everything. But unfortunately, the last month, I think about a month ago, I ended up in the VA hospital because I had a herniated colon. It had twisted to the point where it blocked. So I have been told, like, I can't lift anything above like 10 pounds. I can't. So I'm like, I'm crushed because that was my outlet, like working out. Like I was
Right.
able to that was one of my outlets anyway, and all that. And so I haven't been able to work out for the past like month because I was told no, because it could come back.
Right.
So right now, unfortunately, I'm losing, and that's what I mean by some of the weight loss was me putting in the work, and other was now I'm on a strict diet where I can only have soups and I can't do salads, I can't do meats, I can't do breads, I can't do any of that stuff. It really honestly sucks because I'm a meat and potatoes kind of girl.
Uh-huh.
But I'm dealing with it. And like I said, I mean, we all have issues, so I'm not going to sit there. And yes, I felt sorry for myself for a minute because I'm like, okay. Then they want to schedule yet another surgery. I'm thinking to myself, really? So, I'm just like, but you know what? It is what it is. You just take the punches. You take what life has to offer you and dish you, but you get right back up.
Yeah.
Okay? And yes,
Yeah.
there are going to be times, like there's been days that I've been wanting to give. I'm like, maybe I should just throw in the towel. And then people like Sean and other folks will say no. And all that, and my daughter, no,
Right.
Mom, keep going,
Keep
and
going.
all that stuff, and then, so, and yeah, sometimes I do say I want to give up, but it's not, but I say it because I'm venting, but I'm not a giving up kind of a person. I will persevere to the end,
You
and all
have
that.
to.
Exactly.
You have to. Because once you give up, everything is just going to come, it's just going to die out. And
Yeah.
you don't want that. Everything you worked hard for.
Yeah.
And you have to
Absolutely.
keep going.
Yeah, but just do it, and then, get over, whatever is holding you back. If it's something you feel strongly with, and you have talked to whatever God that you report to or whatever. I just happen
Right.
to be a Christian, but my thing is that just pray for guidance, and
Yep.
and
Yeah.
if that's where you're told that you need to go, if you look at entrepreneur, like how people made millions or what have you, go to like the cash flow quadrant, go read that book. It's actually pretty awesome. But if you look at stories from actual entrepreneurs,
Oh, yeah.
actually Tony Robbins and all of them, right? They got to the point where, no joke, they're like, okay, I know I'm supposed to do this, but now I'm on my last like penny, my last dime.
Yep.
I can barely pay for my electricity. And they right before they gave up totally,
That's when everything
then
starts
there's
to
this up
happen.
movement,
Yeah.
right? So
yeah.
that's important to note. So it's an imminent test. You just hang in there because right when it gets bleak and you think you've hit the abyss,
Yes.
but
Yes.
as long as you have faith, your faith is tested. Because then when you have faith and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you have that upswing, and then now blessings are pouring. Like I said,
Yep.
I did not ever
Yep.
think that I would have a TV hosting opportunity.
I did not ever think I'd be
know,
in radio.
It's
Yep.
awesome, right? Or that I would be modeling at 40. I'm 43, folks. I'll
Yep.
be 44 in June. So, hey. But I'm all about, I know that the modeling thing may be short-lived, and I'm cool with that. Because like I said, I'm getting older. It's fine. But I just want to give back and help other women. Now that I
Yep.
know the tools of the trade and this sort of thing, I want to help other ladies that want to do the modeling, and that's where their passion is, whatever. That's what I want to do.
Yes.
So that's why we did the agency. I want to help other women and help them do it right, help them get paid jobs, because there's an area that they have here and everywhere where they keep these girls, I think, purposely untrained, or they teach them bad like habits, like how to rock the runway and this and the other thing. because they'll say, well, why aren't they signed by an agency? Why aren't they signed by because they're not given the right tools. Like there's certain things that agency, when you're going for an audition, and many times they won't even get into the audition until you until you are able to until you have the right things or until your agency represented. So
it's not easy. Ooh, that modeling stuff is not easy.
It's not easy, but it's not just runway, ladies.
Yeah.
It's print and everything else. And print and all that is actually where the money's at. Print, being repped by a brand and all that, that's where the money's at. And lifestyle modeling, like everybody's plus size and high end and all that. I mean, there's everything in between. There's hand and face modeling.
Yeah. I was told about that.
Yeah. You know, I'm a lifestyle model. I'm older. Anybody really 25 and older, you're considered a lifestyle model anyway. And lifestyle just simply means that, you know, like, you know how like you see like a family, like there's a pretty family walking on the beach.
Yeah.
Like on a resort, and
the husband and the wife and the children.
Right. They're just a pretty family. They're not really a family. They're basically models, right? You know. So that's what I'm saying. That's lifestyle. Or somebody drinking out of a Starbucks cup or something like that, right? Repping a brand. That's lifestyle. That's where the money's at. Brand is where the money's at. So why wouldn't you want to do that?
That's cool.
Yeah. So and you rarely get paid on the runway.
You're giving me ideas now.
Right? So, you know, we need brand support. So brand sponsors, any brands that want to rep either of our shows.
Yes,
we'd
please.
love to have you. Right?
Definitely.
You know? So, yes.
Definitely. There's a comment. Where is it? If I could move it up. Where is it? We had a few comments. Oh, yeah. Cynthia Gajon said, always strive to do what you want to do in life. And Norman Dixon, hi, Brian. He said, you just got to go for it. Whatever you want to do in life, never say you can't.
That's right.
Very true.
Yes.
Never say you can't.
Yes.
We can't. Whatever it is you want to do, run after it. You only live once.
That's right.
And you got to do everything while you're here. When you was ill with colon cancer, and you mentioned that you did a poem for your kids.
Yeah.
What was their mindset when they found out? I know they was devastated, and I know they was very supportive. How did everyone stay afloat? Because that's hard, especially on children. Yeah.
So with my daughter, it took a little bit for me to break it to them, because first I wanted to find out, was I terminally ill? Because cancer is kind of like, man, that thing is evil, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter, anything, and all that. It affects us all. And you've got children all the way up to the elderly and everywhere in between getting in all across the globe. So when I was diagnosed with it, I was kind of like, okay, I had to think strategically how I was going to deliver this message to my kids and all that. And I tried, from a mother standpoint, I tried to stay strong and not cry when I delivered the message. But what I told them is, I said, look, we've been through a lot already, right? Kids, I reminded them when we were homeless and stuff like that and everything else. It's like, look, we've gotten through everything together. I'm not a person that's going to give up. I'm going to give everything I've got to fight it and all that and everything. But I said, I need you to just give me lots of hugs and loves, because I'm going to, love and everything else. And, because you just never know. And I said, look, I don't want to leave this earth. I told them I did put provisions in place for them in the event that something were to happen to me, but I'm thinking positively and stuff. And so we prayed a lot. It took me a little bit to put it on Facebook, because I was kind of like quiet about it myself at first. But then what I realized is the more, when you put it out there, and it helps you, number one, get it off your chest. And then other people can support you, whether it's remote or otherwise. And I can honestly feel the prayer, the spirit, the light. My mom used to say, stay in the light, right? And when you go into surgery, envision a white light. That's what she used to always say. My mom's a nurse, by the way. So she used to say, envision a white light. So she used to say, envision a white light before you go into surgery. And that's what I did. I would pray, and I would envision a white light. It's just surrounding you, right? And stuff. So my mom walks in the light. I walk in the light. I've always been like that. And even my poems, some of them are dark, but but they turn light. I mean, so you have to understand, I was writing from an emotional standpoint at that point and getting things out. So, you know, so yeah, I mean, to deliver the message was very difficult to my kids, to be quite honest with you, because I didn't know, and I didn't know how they were going to take it. And I watched them, and I told the schools, their teachers, and the principal and all, I said, if you see, because my son's introverted where my daughter's extroverted.
Right, okay.
So I'm like, okay, my son's not really going to say something's wrong, right, and stuff. So it's like, okay, he's not going to voice it. So just watch him. You know, just watch, and if you need to pull him into counseling or whatever, pull him, because, you know, if you notice this, you notice that. I want to catch it early on.
Right.
You know, and all that. And I know he was trying to be strong. He was trying to do this, trying to do that, and everything. And my heart just, my heart just broke. So here I am, in one sense, trying not to cry, maintain my composure. You know, because
I'm trying not to cry. You telling me this?
Yeah, well, it's like, you don't want to say goodbye to your kids. You love your kids, and so, but it's almost in one sense you're kind of saying goodbye in a way. Another way you're saying,
be strong.
I got
for
you.
me.
Be strong. You know, that this is hopefully going to be a temporary thing, and all that. But yeah, I was trying so hard not to cry. But like I said, I went through the whole plethora of emotions. So when somebody is, you don't know what it feels like until you're told, like, you've got cancer, because then cancer can come back. So like, it has not really been a 3-year mark. December 2nd, 2015 was when I had the cancer, and then I had another surgery in 2017, last year actually. You know, I had to go through like a hysterectomy and stuff. I had bilateral tumors, which luckily at this point were benign, but they were huge and all that. So I had to get everything removed. I mean, I've just been through the whole 9 when it comes to health. And then recently I was in the hospital. I'm like, okay, when is it gonna end? But you know what? I'm like this. There's obviously a purpose, right? And somebody out there is probably listening, somebody going through a similar situation, and needs encouragement. Just like that guy when I was there and tears came down my eyes and stuff. And the guy was like, look, I'm a colon cancer survivor myself. I survived. I needed to hear that at that moment, because I was like very upset and everything else. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. That's what I kept thinking. I mean, I didn't want to think that, but it does go through your head. I'm not going to lie. So I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like that's why I always, you know, especially now and when I was going through my own situations, I used to take for granted my life.
Yeah.
And when I was, I'm going to say about in high school, my senior year, my grandmother fell ill to Alzheimer's. And that crushed me. That really crushed me, because for me, I'm like, that's my grandmother. I don't want to see her go through that.
Yeah.
My mom, very strong, and she still do a wonderful job holding everything together. Yeah. So when someone is ill, the first thing I always say is, you gotta hold on. And I always do my part to support, because especially when there's kids involved, because that's hard to see someone that you love fall ill. So
yeah, and everybody also forgets about the support system. The support system is integral to the success of the person, whether or not it's cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, whatever. And it takes also a toll on that caregiver. So caregivers also need care.
Yes.
Part of the proceeds from my poetry book actually go to the American Cancer Society, but it facilitates giving back to the members of the family that are actually the caregivers, because everybody forgets about them and how hard it is, and that they need help and support and what have you themselves to continue, because it's a lot. You know, I mean, it really is a lot, and you can't expect kids to do it, right? So it's got to be another adult to come in there and do it. And you know, and like for me too, I didn't want to bother. My daughter was going through college. I didn't want to. I felt I was bothering her. I didn't want to be a burden on anybody. You know, I'm used to being the independent single parent.
the independent one.
And now I'm the one that needs help, and it was very difficult for me to ask for help. Even calling my mom out there, I was like, I was like, I got this. I can do this myself. And really, you can't. You really need to. At that point, you need to
let someone come in and help
you. You know.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, because my mom is still like that. She's like, I'll do it, and I just look at her sometimes like, Mom.
Yeah.
But that's how she is. That's how my grandmother was too. Very independent. Grandma, I'll do it. I'm like, okay. And it fell on me too, because that's how I am now. But it's like I do want to open myself up to have someone around to help at times. Yeah.
Well, and nobody too. Another thing, when you read these millionaire mindset books or what have you, and all that, they also talk about mentors. Even a general in the Army, even when you're in the Army, you always have a mentor. Everybody's had a mentor, whether it be Bruce Lee, right, and all that stuff. I mean, everybody's had a mentor to pull them up and bring them up and get them to where they need to be. You don't get there on your own. Honestly, it does take a support system or a mentor or a guide to get you there and all that. So, give shout outs to your mentors. Don't be afraid to ask for guidance and help when you need it. I mean, all this independence and stuff like that, yeah, that's great and wonderful, exciting, but we are all humans. We're human beings, the human element first.
Yes.
So
definitely. So, you mentioned us moving to Model House TV again. So you mentioned you want to go like national and everything. Have you met with like any executives and things like that so far, or you just like still?
I'm keeping everything on the low, but I look forward to when the opportunity presents itself.
Making
the right move, and all that. So definitely look forward to taking this on a national and global platform and everything. So. And looking forward to having many more guests on the show.
Yeah.
So coming up, like, for instance, we've got Billy Blunt, we've got John Blassingame, we've got
Billy Blunt. Nice.
Billy Blunt's gonna be on the show. Yep, and we have Lacey Kupani, who is she's the CMG CEO for New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week. And she's got her own clothing line too. She's a designer, so I should hook you up with her because that would help too with from the designer's perspective how she gets. Because how she got started, if you read her bio, she's awesome. She should be on your show, too. I'm going to have her up. I'll recommend she should be on your show, too.
Okay.
She's going to be out here mid-June. I think June 14th through 16th, something like that. And then again in September. So for the shows and all that. But she started out actually making she's got a PhD and everything. This girl is phenomenally good. So just like us, we're educated women that did the 9 to 5. But then the purpose ended up being something else. So for her, she actually designed a dress for the governor's wife.
Nice.
And I can't remember if it's Arkansas or Alabama. My apologies to her. One of the states, definitely not Arizona. It's one of the A's. I know that. And I'll get it right on my show. I apologize. But she designed a dress for the governor's wife, and then since her career has taken off. So yeah, it's just. So now she's the CEO for CMG, which hosts the shows near Fashion Week. So you should, cover it. I'm gonna cover the show. Nice. So and then she's looking for sponsors and this other thing. So again, we could, request maybe that she sponsor us, and that's twofold and all that. But just great, and she gives back. And Catherine Schuler, Schuler on the show.
Yes.
So she also provides support for the Diabetics Foundation. So she was on my show, and I was able to walk in her show at the Café La Femme, supporting that endeavor. So I'm all about philanthropy. Anytime there's a charity, things like that, I'm there. Like I'm all about support and what have you, and everything. So what else? So John Blassingame is another one which I mentioned. We've got young Trell, who's an 8-year-old kid, right? Awesome. That kid is off the hook. So, he did the knot, and then he's got Mr. Softy, and he's got some other things.
Mr. Softy.
Yes. Right? So he's going to be on the show, too, and everything. So we have an amazing lineup of guests for the show up and coming. I've got Gio. Gio's on the show, too. He's acting, in major films. He was just on Quantico last night.
Really?
On one of the episodes, yes. So he's probably going to be, I was talking to Sean about that. We're talking about, he's probably going to be the next Vin Diesel, right? Because he's that good. If you watch him, he's actually really, really good. So I can't wait to have him on my show. So all these guests, too, I'll, recommend. Maybe we can refer each other because help them also get a platform out and all that. And then we get to meet incredible people and incredible talents. So anybody, Model House is an entertainment platform for comedians, photographers, designers, models. I mean, you name it. Radio hosts, TV hosts. Anybody that wants to share what they're doing, get the word out. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But people of substance and light. That's the key. So I'm all about empowering. Those types of folks.
That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Very important. So, for Model House TV, like who would be your someone out of the blue you would just want to interview? Like, what's your dream interview for Model House?
Really? Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey. So by the way, I've got her MUA lined up. I just happened to inbox him, no joke. So I inboxed him, and so I said, I would love to have you on my show. I mean, unbelievable. And he said, yes. And I was like, really? He's like, yes. So yeah, I'm gonna have him on my show coming up too. His name is Reggie Wells. He's been her personal MUA for years. Yeah,
That is
and
so
he is
cool.
phenomenal. So you never know where opportunities are going to come from. My thing is, I just want to meet people. I'm a people person and all that, but I would love to. I know there's some stuff around Morgan Freeman right now, some drama, and I hope it doesn't come.
Yeah.
We need to stop. By the way, ladies, if something really happened, then it happened. But say it early on. Don't wait like 30 years to come out and say it and all that and really hurt somebody's career. I mean, if it happened, and you can't get around. Truth eventually surfaces anyway. And I'm not trying to discredit anybody. I'm not, especially for those of us with domestic violence. I wouldn't want to be discredited either from a female standpoint. But we are so bent on crucifying somebody before there's actually an investigation.
Yes.
Let the facts surface. Let the law enforcement folks come out, do their investigation first before we crucify the individual and take away their star and take away all this stuff prematurely. So he just may be, I mean, you just never know.
Yeah. That's on the last show I had too, where my guest, we was talking about the whole Kanye West situation.
Yeah.
And I was saying I don't agree with everything I don't agree with nothing he actually said. I'm gonna be honest, but I also said at the same time I'm not gonna bash him. I don't live with that man. I don't know what's going on in his life. I know he went through situations, in the media where he, who knows what happened in his life. But I said I'm not gonna use my platform to bash him. So that's one thing that I am very careful of, not to bash people, because I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. We only know what is given to us through media. And can we always trust media?
Right. No, and that's the thing. A lot of it's rumor. And a lot of sometimes they're so quick to put it out there, be the first ones to put it out there. They don't fact check it anymore. Like they used to have a requirement to do that. And so that's our responsibility too. Also, as people in the media, with the face of the media, because we do have a platform in which we can either destroy or empower and cultivate somebody's career. So going forward for me too, I would never no disrespect to Wendy Williams, but Wendy Williams gets on her show and then of course she bashes people. That's her thing, and that's right. That's what she's known for. But on the flip side, that's not what I want to be known for. I want to be known for empowering people, and yes, bringing things to light. Talk about those substantive
But there's a
topics.
way to bring it to light, though.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
There's a way to do it. You got to be careful because, I keep using the example of Monique, the comedian. She's another one that people was throwing rocks and everything at, and she made the statement. Talking to one of the hosts on a popular radio show here in New York, she said you have to be careful of the poison you put in the ears of your community when you open up those microphones.
That's
because this is very powerful.
Yes, it is.
Because it flows in the ears of so many people, and we are very influential, and you have to be careful of what is said. So I'm not trying to destroy nobody's career, because the media will put you all the way at the top, but as soon as you do something wrong, they will grab you by your collar and yank you down.
Oh, absolutely. So, and the faster you get to the top, it's great. But once you get to the top, it's very difficult to stay there.
Yeah.
And people are all the time trying to pull you down.
Yeah.
And all that. So it's important too when you are doing anything, no matter what it is, no matter if it's in the fashion industry or entertainment industry or whatever, media, or even just day to day going to your job or whatever. It's important to have key people in your life. Like what I call is there's actual friends, and then there's acquaintances.
Yes.
So everybody likes to call Facebook friends. Okay, they're friends. Your friends really are your close friends and family. Let's just be real. So the acquaintances are folks that you really kind of don't know, or kind of people that you work with, but you really don't know them on the same level. So kind of keep them at an arm's length. I mean, yes, but don't give them everything. Don't give them all your keys to the kingdom, because the minute I've had happen is people will take, personal information that you expose about yourself or whatever, and then they take it like when it's an opportunity, for them.
They'll use it against you.
They use it against you.
In the worst ways.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
So you do have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You really, really do.
Yeah, and another topic I want to bring up is the fact of being single. Sometimes people think, we're both single women.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times people think that single is like a disease.
No, it's not.
It's not a disease. You
No,
have
it's
to
not.
be right within yourself and do within yourself.
It is not.
Or I'm not out there like looking and and all that. So
I love it.
Exactly. If somebody happens to come across, great, I'll give them a chance. But until that happens, I'm just gonna pursue what I want and this kind of thing. So but what's happened to me is going to church and stuff. Like I've had people try to hook me up at church, and it's like, wait, I'm not there for that though. Wait, last time I checked, this wasn't a dating service. I'm there to praise God, right?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So why is being single looked at as a bad thing? I just want
I
to know.
I don't know. I personally like it, but if it was to happen, fine. If I meet someone, but I like being single. And when I was younger, I used to always want to date and everything. But now that I'm 36 and I have goals and things that I'm trying to reach, I always ask myself, would I have time for a relationship? And the answer is no.
Right.
It's not. I wouldn't. And I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with being single.
Right.
When I was younger and I would look at women on TV and they would be in their 30s or 40s or 50s or whatever age, and they would say, I'm fine with being single. I'm good. I'm happy. I'll be like, how is that possible? Like, how are you fine with being single? But now that I'm older, I get it.
Right.
I get it. You have that freedom.
You do have that freedom. So what's funny is that I had actually attended 2 weddings. When I worked at Department of Labor, I worked with a team of just fascinating people. And I was probably the youngest at the time. I had folks that were at least 15, 20 years my senior easily, 10, 15 easily. And I was invited to 2 weddings that came out of Department of Labor. And they actually got married at a later age. They got married in their late 50s. And the love that you could just feel at those ceremonies was very breathtaking. It was very heartfelt. And I'm like, you know what? So that's why I say, too, is don't rush to get married just because of convenience or whatever. Or, a lot of people mistake lust for love, right? That puppy love is not love at all. It's actually lust. So, when you go down to have or even something happens in the hospital or whatever, or you're laying down or whatever, and you're starting to talk about a topic. My thing is if somebody can't carry on a topic with me,
Oh, yes.
then I get very bored.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm just like,
yes.
After the whole sexual thing goes away.
Yes.
Well, I'm not saying goes away, but when you're not having sex, you've got another part of your day, right, that you're actually talking and things. So you want to have it substantive. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. You do.
know?
You do. I think it's so many elements to dating, and oh God, it's just a lot. And you have to make sure you're right mentally, physically, emotionally before you let someone else in. And again, I'm okay. If it happens, fine, but I like it. By myself.
And you know what though, the best people come across your life when you're not looking anyway.
Unexpectedly.
Right. And so eventually we will find the right people in our lives or what have you, and everything's fine. And that's what I wish for my kids too is, whoever they find as their life partner, hey, I'm cool. As long as they treat them well and this kind of thing or whatever. I'm all the traditional thing too about you're getting your degree too, something to fall back on and this other thing too, but I'm all about, finding your passion. And everything. So, finding whatever your passion is. If you're passionate about being, a pharmacist, then okay, pursue it. If you're passionate about being an attorney like my son wants to be, he's like, Mom, I know what I want to be now. So he went through all these things. First he wanted to be a soldier, then he wanted to be a Navy SEAL, then he wanted to be a YouTuber. Then it was like, Mom, I think I want to know what I want to be. This was like, I don't know, 5 months ago he said this. I want to be a judge. And I said, okay. So I was like, son, you do know you have to go get a law degree for that first, right? He's like, okay, yeah, what do I need to do? So then he started researching. It was so cute. Started researching, he's 13. So he's researching different things, how to become this, how to become that. It's like, okay, now I know what schools I want to go to. Now I'm like, wow, okay, this kid might be taking it seriously. So I may end up, single parent, by the way, but I may end up having a doctor and a lawyer and all that. So it can happen. So it's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just, not bad, right? Not bad for an engineer, prior military.
No.
You got to just keep it going.
Yes,
but I don't degrade the men in my life either. Like, I will never do that. I've never degraded their fathers. People don't understand. Like, women, degrade the father of the kid, and you don't do that. What they don't understand is part of that person, of the child's self-esteem, the mother and the father are part of who they are.
Yes.
So when the father is saying something bad about the mother, or the mother saying bad about the father, vice versa, it really plays a role on that kid's psyche, mental, emotional, spiritual, and everything. So don't do that, because all it doesn't really hurt the mother or the father.
It hurts
They're
the
adult,
child.
it hurts the kid.
Yep.
So that's why you have these kids acting out. They go to gangs, they go to this, they go to that, or whatever, and all that. Their self-esteems are obliterated, and they won't tell you, but they do other things. Their grades are bad, or this or that bad, or whatever, and they do other things to act out. So
you got to be careful with how you talk around
and tell the
parent.
mother, the grandparents too, because the grandparents will say, well, where's her dad? Where's this? I'm like, okay, mom, stop. Like, don't say it in front of her. We can have this conversation another time, right? I mean, and all that. So I don't talk like that around my kids.
No,
I just don't.
you can't.
I'll vent elsewhere, but I won't talk about, talk about my kids.
Yeah. That's the right thing to do, because they don't need to hear everything. Iana Van Zant said that too. Don't tell your kids everything. They don't need to know it.
Right.
Everything that's going in your personal life.
Right.
They don't
They don't need to know who you're sleeping with, who you're this with, who you're not. That's another thing too, and that's another reason why I don't have boyfriends, and that's another thing, because I don't do that. I wanted to see my kids. I'm like, okay, if I'm single all the way up to the point where my kids are like 18 or whatever, then I'm cool, because my thing was, like, I didn't want them to see a revolving door of people coming in and out or whatever. That's not healthy either.
Yep.
So, my priorities, were my kids. Now, I did have a guy in my life, most recently was 2 years and all that stuff, an amazing gentleman and everything else, and he was there for me through the cancer, through the appointments, through everything. Amazing, and all that. So you do need people like that in your life. That was a support system.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So I don't know what I would have done without him or what have you. So really appreciative for everything and all that. And he's amazing. So
yeah. I'll be glad when I meet someone like that, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. So I want to say we have a little bit. What is that? 2 minutes cruise?
3 minutes.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want you to give out the information for Model House TV, your social media.
Okay.
And then we're going to start wrapping up.
Okay.
And we're going to do this again.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I have fun.
Oh, absolutely. And likewise. I'm definitely going to have you back on my show for sure.
Thank you.
And everything. And so Model House TV, it's Model Haus TV, found on BronxNet TV channel, channel 64 and 34 and 68, rather, BronxNet, and BronxNet.org, BX Life. You have to scroll down when you go to, it's because it's not easily seen. You have to scroll down and find it. BX Life, and it'll show you what shows are next. The next show airs on May 31st, which is Thursday, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. Don't miss it. So you can watch it from any computer, anywhere, and it'll stream at the time that it plays on the television channels. So you've got this lovely, amazing woman here, Nina Monique, of the Nina Monique Show on there, as well as Derek Williams, who is an amazing photographer.
Big shout out to Derek.
Thank you. He's phenomenal. And he's a karate instructor as well. So,
yes.
But he's got 40 years in the photography industry and all that. Amazing folks on that show. So, and it was an amazing topic discussion that evening, too. So we span the spectrum. So please tune in for that. My social media, I can be found on Instagram, is at charity.villena, V as in Victor, ILLENA. Facebook, same thing, Charity Villena. And then my Twitter account is Social Butterfly, with a mix of letters and numbers. So, so just, come out and see me, watch the show, continue to support Model House TV, support your local charities, your community, that's important, give back.
Yes.
Whatever it is you do, whatever you're passionate about, follow, pursue it. Don't let life, stop. You pursue life and live life to the fullest.
Yes.
And then continue to support Nina Monique of the Nina Monique Show. Tune in on In the Mix Radio.
Continue to support her, because this is.
Likewise.
I look forward to everything that you're doing. I do. I really do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Nina Monique Show. I will see you again June 9th. I'm going to have some of 2 individuals actually from Paterson, New Jersey, my hometown, who have their own clothing line. And one of the other guests is a DJ. Flavor Enough is the name of their brand. So definitely check me out June 9th, here on the Nina Monique Show. Everyone, enjoy your weekend. It's nice outside. I think it's supposed to rain. Is it supposed to rain? Yeah, it's supposed to rain, so enjoy this weather now. And on that note, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We jamming? Hell yeah, we jamming. In the mix.